So, Penn, how did you wind up getting into the hip hop culture?
I mean, hip hop culture has been around me my entire life, so it's not getting into it. It's something that I was born into. You know what I mean? It was something that was already there at an early stage and was already booming. And it was something that spoke to me. So it wasn't like a getting into it. It was there, and I accepted it, and it spoke to me. You know what I'm saying?
You were rapping as young. I remember you always telling me you knew Sean Price and Boot Camp and Thurston Howe as a teenager, right?
Yeah, I knew all of them from young. But that's not what got me. That's not what got me. I was already into the moment. But I'll tell you like this: as far as the actual act of the culture, the music and stuff, it started. It for me, it manifested as hip hop, but it didn't start with hip hop. My entire family is very musical.
Right.
And like, so I
got filming in the church, right?
Yeah, so I got older relatives, like my mother's first cousin, all of them, my cousins was putting out records from the 70s and early 80s and shit like that. So as a kid, I would go watch them at shows and shit. I'm talking about that because I was with my mom's, and that's her cousin. I mean, so that's my
what kind of group?
If y'all look up, there was a very popular group in New York, from Brooklyn, from the 70s, 80s called Sky.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they had a bunch of hits called "Call Me When You Need Someone to Talk." That's my family and shit. Right. So like, that shit was booming. I was a baby, damn near. I was a toddler type shit, and so I would always see my mom would take me. I would see them performing and all that. Like, oh, this is crazy. Like not knowing what it was going to manifest for me, but it was just like, you know, they like I would go to my aunt's crib, rest in peace to her, and there was plaques on the wall. I didn't even know what the fuck that shit represented, but I see them gold records on the wall and shit. So it spoke. So I already saw that there was something with this music shit, not knowing what I was gonna do, but what I'm saying, it was around from my inception. You know what I'm saying? My mom sings. My mom sang background on Al Green shit. You know what I mean? My sisters sing. Like my entire family is heavy into the music. You know what I mean? When I was a kid, like I said, Sky is my family's group.
Used to be around. What's your name as a kid too, right? Love Come Down.
Evelyn Champagne King.
Evelyn
Champagne King. My uncle was married to her sister.
Okay.
So this is all shit from when I was.
So you were around her as a kid?
Yes. Yeah. I haven't seen her since I was a kid. That's another story. But
right.
But yeah, so these are all things that I've seen as a kid. You know what I mean? From day one, that's the shit that I was born into. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
do you remember that instance where you was like, all right, this is what I'm gonna do?
Well, I'll tell you like this. To get to the hip hop shit, like my pops, right? My pops is a music. Like I said, everybody's musical. My pops to this day he plays keys and shit. He plays in churches and stuff like that. Shit like that. He's like a musical director and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Organs too.
Yeah, that's it, exactly.
Nice.
And so my pops was obviously music. Everybody's musical inclined. There was a studio in my crib forever. It was always a studio in my crib. So to get into the hip hop stuff, my pops used to who used on Notion. My pops used to hang out. This dude used to come to the crib all the time, and you know, do mixtapes with him, and you know, they would make beats and all that stuff. But it was a very prominent rapper from the '80s. You know what I mean? Cutmaster, DC, Brooklyn's in the house,
without a doubt.
Right. That's my pops' man. So as a kid, I'm seeing these motherfuckers in my crib.
Wow.
Like, so this is, like I said, this is literally, you know what I mean? So I'd be in the crib and we called him Hakim, because that was already after that era. But like, so these motherfuckers, I would go to my crib and see like old school motherfuckers from the '80s and shit. Like, you know what I mean? My pops, he did some like some production work with like salt and pepper and shit like that. So, like I said, this was something that was always just there. So after when seeing how it was easily accessible, like I wasn't one of them, like a lot of kids from that era, if they were interested in the music or the hip hop stuff, like a lot of times their parents would be like, "Yo," they was deter them away. But I didn't get that because my pops was always into the music. Right. So I didn't get why you want to rap and that stuff is not like, nah. He was like, oh, that's dope.